All right, I'm here with Amy Gonzales and Kelly Caldwell of AK Environmental. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the impetus behind how the company was founded and when that was.
Well, it was founded in 2002, and I am a professional geologist and wetland scientist, and I was doing a lot of environmental work for natural gas pipelines. Became very frustrated with the large corporation that I was working with, who did a lot of government work, and Kelly noticed my frustration. She was working with me on a project, and she just said, "Well, why don't you start your own business?" And I said, because I do the management and I know the technical side, but I really don't know the business side and the human resources, and she volunteered to do that, and so that was really it was built out of my frustration and her real entrepreneurial spirit.
Tell me about the early days in the company. What were some of the challenges you faced founding your own business?
I think in the beginning it was our size. I mean, Amy she has a great reputation for herself. So people in the industry know who Amy Gonzales is. But they were intimidated a little bit by our size. But we knew that we could perform the work. I think the next big struggle was funding the banks. And we've gone through 3 banks and very happy who we're with now. But kind of figured it out on the way, how to get ourselves in the right position.
Yeah, our explosive growth really was a surprise to the banks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they didn't believe that we could grow that fast. And so we had to find a bank that would really believe in us.
Define that explosive growth. That's a kind of a nebulous term.
Well, if you look at, we were listed on the Inc. 500. We
What
were
number?
256 of the top 500 fastest growing firms, privately owned firms in the country, and it was 882%
Wow.
over a 3-year period.
Impressive. How many employees do you have now?
We have 80 employees.
80 employees.
But our biggest growth was really from 2007 to 2008, where we grew from 40 employees to 120. So that was our biggest push, and where the banks just didn't understand. But we found somebody that would, look at our books on an account receivables basis
Mm-hmm.
instead of they needed collateral before. And that's just something, as a service company, we sell our knowledge and our and our people, and we don't have equipment or something to base collateral on. So we found a bank that would really look at what we're billing out every month and use that to provide our line of credit.
How'd you approach the bank to get that mindset change? Because that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs have to deal with is working with their banks in a different way.
I think the banks that what ended up happening is the banks that we were with just said, "That's it. I can't go further." They didn't want to hear anymore. So it was finding somebody that would listen in a different way. And we had a recommendation from our accountants of who maybe we should talk to, which bank we should talk to, and they just had a different way of looking at things. And we showed them our contracts, we explained our business, and they just really opened their mind to a different way of banking, I guess.
You had explosive growth with a lot of new employees. How did you attract those employees and find the right ones? That's always a challenge.
That is one of the biggest challenges that we have. A lot of our growth was on the inspection side of the business. So there's a stable of individuals out there. We have thousands of resumes on file for the various types of positions that we need to fill. And once they knew that that's the position that we were in, the resumes just kept coming in. And we know a lot of the individuals that have done the work before who have performed well. So I've been in the business for a long time, and my husband works with us, and he has also been in the business for a long time. So it's really the experience that we've had.
Interesting. What are some of the current challenges you're facing in this next phase of growth?
Well, I think our next phase of growth is this conference has been very inspiring for us, and it's given us the idea that we can grow significantly over the next couple of years. And I think that is getting the right management staff in to allow Kelly and I to work on the business rather than in the business. So I think that will be our biggest challenge, is being able to pass the reins to someone that we trust will have our same values.
Yeah, and one thing that's been great with all the recognition this year is that we no longer have that we're too small. I think we're proving to them that we can compete with anybody else, no matter how big they are. We are competition now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the transition of roles, trying to move to working on the business instead of in the business, that's a challenge that hampers a lot of entrepreneurs' ability to take their company to the next level. What strategies are you looking at in order to take that leap? That's a hard one.
Yeah, it is a hard one. I think that we have to look honestly at ourselves, and that's what we've heard at this conference, is to understand what our strengths are and understand what our weaknesses are. And if I'm not good at understanding how to bring in the additional revenue, for instance, then I really need to have someone who is a better salesperson, or someone who can really focus on managing the individuals and the people and the human resources side. So we really need to assess our personal skills and when we need to get out of the way. And then I think just listening to other people, listening to their stories and understanding what works, and not letting our egos get in the way. That's a big thing.
I agree. And the one thing, though, I do think that is unique about Amy and I is that we are a partnership. And I think that's a huge benefit to us. When I talk to these other entrepreneurs that are doing it all on their own, she has her strengths, I have my strengths, and we know that.
Right.
So we're a great team, and I feel lucky that we have this partnership.
Let's talk about the division, your strengths coming from the geologist background. How do you see that separation in terms of your strengths versus your strengths? How do you break the roles for what you work on and what you work on?
I think it's fairly clear. One of the uniqueness, the unique things about our company, Kelly is 17 years younger than I am, and I think she has a certain respect for my age, and just the fact that I've got a little bit more of the professional experience, the technical experience. So it's a pretty clear line in terms of I've been in the business a longer time, so when it comes to the technical regulatory aspects, when it comes to the contracts, contract management, and client management, she understands that that's what I've done. I've been doing wetlands delineation. I've been out there with the bugs and the bunnies. I've been out there with the construction personnel, so that I've got that on the ground experience. Her coming in a little bit with a little less experience, but the real entrepreneurial know-how, and she has the enthusiasm for the business side of it. It works. I think it works well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think my major was wildlife science, so I love doing all the things that she does as well. But I knew when we started the business, like she said, she had the experience and she had the contacts, and I knew what she didn't like to do, and I wanted to be able to help her with that, because I knew that she would be successful, and if she was going to take me along with this ride, I knew that I could fit in the pieces where she may be missing. And I've always liked the numbers, I've always liked organizing things, and I didn't have an accounting degree or anything, and I still am not the accountant for our business, but I just, I like to take care of the business side of things.
Talk a little about relationships. I would think that in your business, that building relationships with clients is something that is going to expand your business, make it deeper and wider, and allow you to grow faster. Talk a little bit about how you forge and foster relationships.
Well, consulting is definitely a people business, and I will always take a back seat to and respect the relationships that my competitors have with the clients, because it takes a while to develop the trust, to let the client understand that you're working with them and not just there to get money from them. And I think that is the hard thing, is first getting through to them to say that we technically can do it. And then it's a matter of, do you trust me? Do you want to spend the time that it takes to go through this process of a very complicated and very often frustrating project? I think that's about all I can say about that right now. But
well, and I think it's just keeping in touch with them. I think that Amy does a great job with that, and I try to do my part as well. Is just if we've got a large project going on in New Jersey and maybe a smaller one in Georgia that doesn't need as much attention, we still try to visit them and say hello and make sure that they are happy with the services that they're getting, and we're trying to focus on that as much as we can.
Well, and one of the things I emphasize to my staff is call the client, call the client, call the client. Whether it's good news, whether it's bad news, but you need to be in front of them as often as you can, and let them have the comfort level of that you're working for them.
Excellent. So what's next?
There could be a lot of things.
I mean, it could. We've talked about whether we want to do organic growth or whether we would like to acquire another company to expand the skills that we have, whether it's geographic or just a slightly different type of technical capability. But we'd like to take this, I'm saying in the next 5 years, 2.5 times to what it is right now.
Excellent. Great. Well, I appreciate you sitting down with me today.
Okay.
Thank you.